Hey there, nation, and welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander Cheapskate, and welcome to Season 2 of It Came From the Sump, our series dedicated to the Necromunda Community Event, co-hosted by Dr. Drybrush and myself. It Came From the Sump is a vehicle-based narrative Necromunda campaign set in the Sump Sea of Necromunda. And on today's video, Battle Report number 12 features my little sister Shade of the Sump Spiders, her Spyrer hunting party, versus the Stalker, which is a brand new and also custom-made scenario created by Dr. Drybrush. You can actually find this on his channel. He also has links to his coffee page where you can actually download the rules for free. It did a beautiful job with the production value on those rules as well. The rules are really well written. It's a really fun game mechanic involved. The illustrations looks amazing. In fact, if you didn't know any better, you would think it was an actual official Games Workshop product because it looks absolutely stunning. And so because of that, we'll be fighting on for this week. We'll be continuing on with the various gangs of our gaming group, taking on the Stalker, attacking it in its lair, and trying to eliminate it and harvest some Stalker glands that might come into effect later on in our community event. Now, because this video is a little bit more of a deeper dive, I will put timestamps in the description box down below so that we can click and navigate to the part of the video that interests you the most. So that being said, we're going to play some background music real quick and show you the roster for the Sump Spiders, and we'll come back with the scenario rules.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dying times here.
So the scenario rules for this one is Stalker's lair. What's going to happen is in this video, what's going to happen is that the Sump Spiders of the Spyrer hunters have gone into an abandoned marketplace that has been cleared out. Apparently, this market has been under attack by something strange and mysterious and reptilian, and no one is left around. There's a bunch of empty market stalls and a lot of blood. So because of the Spyrer hunters have been sent down here in order to hunt down whatever it is, and that of course is the Stalker. The idea of this scenario is that these Sump Spiders would deploy in the middle of the tabletop, and then from there they must search the battlefield and look for the Stalker, find it, and kill it as well. And the idea is supposed to be they're fighting against this creature as well on top of that. Now if you look at the creature statistics, it is actually quite powerful. It is based off of a Sump Beast with the core rule set on it. This creature has a 5-inch wound allowance, 3+ weapon skill, 6+ ballistic skill, 4 strength and toughness, 3 wounds, 3 initiative, 3 attacks, 7 leadership, 6 cool, 8 willpower, and 9 intelligence. And it fights with ferocious jaws. It also has a scaly hide. It's also got the dodge, evade, fearsome, slaughterborn, spring up, true grit, as well as unstoppable skills, as well as the mini-shaped horror, as well as underhive monster special rules. It also has an interesting game mechanic, making it unbreakable, as well as having unfeeling hide, and also has this game mechanic called Back to the Shadows, where if it survives an initiative test, it only suffers at most 1 wound, and it disappears back directly into the sump, where you have to hunt it down once again. Now, of course, the overall objective is for the Sump Spiders to hunt it down and to kill this creature, and if they manage to do so, they earn 2d6 times 10 credits. Each fighter also gains a bonus experience point for taking part in the battle, and the fighter who took out the Stalker also earns an additional d3 experience points as well. If the gang is victorious, they earn 1 point of reputation. If they bought out, of course, they lose 1 point of reputation. And if they manage to kill the Stalker, they earn d3 Stalker glands, which they can sell for d3 times 10 credits apiece, or hold on to it for a later campaign event later on in our community. At the same time, we should also note that the Sump event for this one is Sump Fog, which means if you want to be able to take a shot with a range attack in this campaign week, you have to pass an intelligence test first, and then once you do that, then you can fire. If you fail your intelligence test, you don't get to shoot. And that makes up the scenario rules for this one. So now that we're going to talk about the scenario rules, let's talk about deployment real quick. As you can see on the little mini map here, my friends are playing on a 2-section table with a bunch of market stalls over the place, as well as some shanties, as well as a large bridge in the center of the battlefield. And as you can see, my little sister, the kid Shade, has also deployed all of her fighters within 3 inches of the center of the table. Just to give you guys a little bit of heads up, these guys are all located on the ground level. They'll be represented by the fighters highlighted in yellow. As you can see, Grimhilda Cage Catalyst, Fortune's Grace, which is her carry to Prime, Correa, Amir, Ulanti, Rajimi Santai, Frill, Denko Iron, Magic Hellbane, as well as Legrun will be participating in this battle report, and everything represented by the cyan colors or represented by the Stalker. Alright, so here's a close-up of my sister's deployment. First of all is Grimhilda KH Catalyst, which is her master, also leader for gang. Just absolutely killed out to kill as well, just with great close combat attacks with that Malkadon Toxic Whip. It's also got web incisors as well as the Yield Missile Gauntlet for long-range shooting. She's also got Grapnel Launcher, Drop Rig, Photo Goggles, Respirator. She's got the Infiltrate as well as the Iron Wheel skills. Also got 3 kills under her belt as well. And partner up next to her, of course, is Fortune Grace, her Carryout Prime, which she was able to capture managed to get because their terror level for the party increased the level for them to recruit one freely. That Charm Companion ability as well as Precognition are very powerful, as well as that Spyrer Companion special rule. And then of course right below them is Rajimi Santai, which is the Chikara Spire Hunter. Just kitted out to kill with close combat with the Hunting Rig as well as Mirror Shield, as well as the Naga Blade, Photo Goggles, Respirator, Random Blows, and Infiltrate skill. Also got 3 kills under her belt as well, so she's extremely deadly too. Down below in the bottom right hand corner are 2 members of the Abyssal Ferryman team that is transporting the some spiders across the battlefields. We have Legrun on the top there, that's the Ferryman rig hand. That guy's got the light Caribous armor as well as the hook, line, and sinker weapon. Just an Ogren that is killed out to kill. And right next to him down below on the left hand side, that is Magic Hellbane, the Ferryman skipper, with his mesh armor as well as Archaeotech pistol and respirator, and a slurry of different types of skills to make this guy extremely dangerous. On the bottom left-hand side of the deployment is Feril Denko Iron, the Malkadon Spire Hunter. He's been out for a little bit just because he suffered damaged musculature, so because that dropped his strength characteristic to a characteristic of 2, which is going to make it very difficult for him to wound anybody. He does have his pair web incisors as well as pair Malkadon Slashing Claws, which gives him a ton of attacks on the charge, but a strength 2 though is not doing much muscle damage though. The idea is that hopefully he can either earn enough experience points to get that back up to strength 3, or maybe get able to remove his damaged musculature by doing a purge of all of his glitches when he levels up. And finally, providing overwatch at the very top of the gantry walkway is Kriya Emir Ulanti, the Yelled Spire Hunter. She is actually quite deadly as well. Movement 8, so this lady can rocket around the battlefield as well with those wings of hers. It's got paired Yelled Missile Gauntlets as well as Yelled Wings. Also has overwatch too, so she can interrupt enemy activations, open fire with those rockets of hers. So very, very deadly fighter as well. And finally, deployed off to the side is the Slaughter Stalker, the creature that this Spire Hunter party has come after to look for. Once again, of course, he only activates when you roll up on the activation table to see exactly what he does when he does pop up as well. And with that being said, we're going directly to the top of turn number 1. Alright, so we go directly to the top of turn number 1, and the Sump Spiders, of course, get the initiative this entire game because they're the only player faction in here. I will be playing the part of the Slaughter Stalker as well as taking photos in this battle report, just because someone's got to roll dice for the Slaughter Stalker, while my little sister Shade will be playing the Sump Spiders. So with that being said, she goes her very first activation. The first thing she does, a group activation with Grimhilda KH Catalyst as well as Fortune's Grace. So the very first thing she does with her group activation, of course, is to activate Fortune's Grace, which is her Carryout Prime. And the reason why is because that little creature could be acting as bait, because they do have that ability to give them precognition, give them a 3-up ward save against anything that goes their way. So because that Fortune Grace takes a basic action to search the area for the Slaughter Stalker, he's got an intelligence of 8, so because this roll 2d6, get a 8 or higher, and he actually gets a success on that as well, and rolls up It's Behind You on the It Came from the Shadows table, which means that the Slaughter Stalker is now 3 inches behind the Fortune's Grace, and immediately ends the activation for the Fortune's Grace, and immediately goes directly to the Slaughter Stalker. So the first thing the Slaughter Stalker does, of course, is declare a charge directly against Fortune's Grace, so he goes across the battlefield no problem. I mean, he's only 3 inches away from the Carryout Prime, and goes up right behind him and starts engaging him in close combat. So the Slump Stalker, of course, is targeting Fortune's Grace. He's got 3 attacks base, plus 1 for charging, giving him 4 attacks in total, and he's striking with his Ferocious Jaws, which gives him Strength 4 minus 1 AP. 1 damage as well as the rending weapon straight, which means if he rolls a 6 on the wound to wound roll, actually causes 2 damage instead of 1. Now with the weapon skill of 3, of course, all the Slaughter Stalker has to do is roll a 3-up in order to strike back at the Carryout Prime. The Slaughter Stalker managed to land 2 hits on the blue colored cherub, and with the Ferocious Jaw striking a strength 4, gets a toughness of 2, needs a 2+ in order to wound. As you probably imagine, Slaughter Stalker has no problem whatsoever landing those 2 wounds directly onto Fortune's Grace, but they do have a 3+ ward save because they create precognition special rules, which is a 3+ armor save that cannot be modified by AP whatsoever. And as you could probably imagine, the little blue cherub creature known as Fortune's Grace managed to save both those wounds no problem. The Carryout Prime does try to strike back, but fails to do so in all cases. So because that Grimhilda KH Catalyst then activates next, and of course she is an absolute killer, so the first thing she does, of course, is to declare a charge against the Slaughter Stalker. Has no problem closing that distance and engaging it in close combat. So, Grimhilda Cage Callus is target of the Slaughter Stalker. She does have 3 attacks base, so she gets +1 for charging into close combat as well, giving her a grand total of 4 attacks in total. With her Malcolm Toxic Whip, she does have a 2-inch versatile attack with -2 AP with the Entangle weapons trait as well as Toxin. And with a weapon skill 2+, all she has to do is not roll a 1, and she manages to hit the Slaughter Stalker. Of those 4 attacks she put forward, 3 of them actually do hit, so because that she does have the Toxin trait on her weapon, so she doesn't really have to roll pretty much anything for running the wound. All she has to do is roll a 4+ in order to put a injury roll directly onto the Slaughter Stalker because it needs to take a toughness test. Of those 3 hits, 2 of them do pass the Toxin test, so because of that, the Slaughter Stalker has to take an armor save in order to protect against it. It does have a 4-up armor save normally with its scaly skin, but with a -2 AP from that Malcolm Toxic Whip, it jumps it up to a 6+ on the armor save. And unfortunately for the Slaughter Stalker, he fails both of those armor saves. So because of that, the Slaughter Stalker does get to pass what's known as the Back to the Shadows test, which means it has to take an initiative test, and if it does manage to pass that initiative test, it only takes 1 damage and also manages to escape as well. It has initiative 3+, which should be pretty easy to do, but unfortunately for me though, I flubbed my rolls, and unfortunately I failed that, so because of that, the Slaughter Stalker is still on the tabletop. So we roll up on the injury dice on this one, and the Slaughter Stalker does manage to get a flesh wound for its injury dice, so because of that, the circle is actually highlighted in red. At the same time, we also made a mistake on this one too, because it actually got 2 damage put directly onto the Slaughter Stalker, and unfortunately Shade and I did not realize this rules mistake until I actually sat down to make this battle report. We should actually roll a second injury dice, which we did not do, so unfortunately we made a rules mistake on that one. But you know, that was in the past, so unfortunately we gotta move on. So with that, we go directly to the Slaughter Stalker activates next and decides to once again do a fight action directly against Grimhilda Cage Catalyst. It does have 3 attacks. It doesn't get a bonus this time around because it didn't charge. It's still engaged in close combat. Now the thing about the Slaughter Stalker, of course, it is easier to wound now because it has that flesh wound, so it means it may have a toughness of 3 now instead of toughness of 4. But it's still strength 4 with its ferocious jaws, -1 AP as well as 1 damage with rending. So with the weapon skill 3+, the Slaughter Stalker needs to roll a 3+ in order to hit. Of his 3 attacks, 3 of them do hit, so because of the ferocious draw, striking at strength 4 against Grimhilda Cage Catalyst's toughness of 3, means that the Slaughter Stalker needs to roll 3+ in order to wound. And it does manage to wound 2 times, one of them with 2 damage with rending. So because that Grimhilda Cage Catalyst, oddly enough, actually has a number of saves associated with her. The first thing that she has, of course, is her 5+ ward save from her Sovereign Hunting Rig. She automatically gets that. Manages to save the rending wound with that one with a 5+ ward save. However, for a normal armor save, though, she does fail a normal armor save with 5+, so because of that, she does take a normal wound. However, though, she does have Fortune's Grace with her, which provides the Charm Companion ability, which allows you to re-roll armor saves that you manage to fail. So because of that, Shade re-rolls her armor save for Grimhilda Cage Catalyst and manages to pass that normal wound as well, so because of that, Grimhilda Cage Catalyst is perfectly fine. And with that, my little sister Shade decides to use the reflex enhancing abilities in order to make sure that Grimhilda Cage Catalyst gets to go again, and this time she does a basic fight action directly against the Slaughter Stalker. Once again, she is targeting with 3 attacks base just because she's doing a normal fight action with that Malcolm Toxic Whip. It's got a 2-inch versatile trait with -2 AP with Entangle as well as Toxin. And with the weapon skill 2+, all she has to do is not roll a 1. Grimhilda Cage Catalyst managed to land all 3 blows directly against the Slaughter Stalker, and because of the Toxin trait and the fact that the Slaughter Stalker is carrying a flesh wound, she needs to roll a 3+ in order to wound it for that toughness check and managed to put 2 injury dice rolls directly onto the Slaughter Stalker. So the Slaughter Stalker has normally a 4-up armor save with scaly skin, but with that -2 AP from the Malcolm Toxic Whip, it drops it down to 6+ to save. The Slaughter Stalker does manage to save 1, but also fails to wound save 1 as well. So because it suffered a wound, we automatically go to the Back to the Shadow special rule where it must take an initiative test. The Slaughter Stalker does have an initiative of 3+. This time it passes, so because of that, the only thing it suffers is a single wound, not an injury dice of any sort. So just like that, as you can see, this Slaughter Stalker now has 3 toughness instead of 4. It also took 1 wound of his 3 wounds that it personally has as well, and it slithers back into the darkness and manages to escape without anyone being none the wiser as to where it's located at. As you can see on the mini-map, we do have the toughness and as well as the wound countdown taking place onto the creature, to represent the fact that it's also being hurt. So the next fight to be activated is Correa Emir Ulanti, the Yelled Spyrer Hunter, and so the Shade decides to do double activations with Correa Emir Ulanti because she does have the Reflex Enhancer's ability, so she decides just to go through twice and actually just do back-to-back activations with this fighter, seeing as there's nobody else on the tabletop at the moment. So basically what she decides to do is do double movements flying 16 inches from the top of the perch that she's located on top of the castle shanty that's located in the upper center part of the battlefield as well. And once she manages to land on top of that shanty, she does a basic action in order to give cover, so that way she can open fire with her Yield Gauntlets at any time that she needs to as well. Her last action is a search action for the Sump Beast, but unfortunately for her, though, she does fail her intelligence test, so because of nothing much really happens there. And as you can see on this little part up here on the top with the green lettering, she basically decides just to highlight that with the character with green to represent the fact that that fighter has been double activated already. So this time around, we go back to Grimhilda Cage Catalyst as well as Fortune's Grace. They're going to do their double activations with their Reflex Enhanced boosters. So because of that, Grimhilda Cage Catalyst will do her very last activation for this turn. The very first thing she actually does a basic action to give cover with her Yelled Missile Gauntlet, and then follow up with another basic action in order to just kind of stay put where she's located at. At the same time, the little Fortune's Grace character does try to do an intelligence test in order to search the area to look for the Slaughter Stalker. He does manage to succeed in finding the Slaughter Stalker with a successful intelligence test. However, though, when it actually came for the roll-up on this one, basically what ends up happening is What's That was the event that was rolled, which means that all fighters who have the little give cover markers pushed directly onto them automatically make a roll with their Firepower dice to see if they actually manage to ammo jam anything. And because that they're shooting at the darkness and there's nothing really there, they lose their ready markers. So up next being activated is Magic Hellbane, who does a group activation with Legrun. Now Magic Hellbane does a give cover basic action as well, and also does another basic action in order to search the area. And with his intelligence of 7, he does manage to successfully achieve searching the area, but when they rolled up for the event table to see exactly what ended up happening, it ended up being the What's That event, which basically means he has to open fire with his Archaeotech pistol, and basically just do that by rolling a Firepower dice to see if he actually jams. Doesn't actually jam his weapon as well, so he's perfectly fine. It's just that he loses ready marker at the same time, fails in finding the creature as well. On top of that, Legrun decides to activate next as a basic action to search the area with an intelligence of 9+, though he wasn't really going to get it, so because he does fail, and that pretty much makes up their activations. So up next is Ferril Dinko Iron, which is the Malkadon Spyrer Hunter. Basically, this is a basic action in order to search the area as well. And with his intelligence 6+, he's going to be able to get that intelligence test no problem. And because of that, he managed to get the What's That reaction as well. So because of that part was actually, he doesn't have any weapons right at the ready, so nothing much really happens. So for his second basic action, he decides to do it one more time as well. Managed to pass his intelligence test again, but this time he also was successful and managed to get It's the Behind You reaction as well, which means the Slaughter Stalker pops up on the battlefield. So because of that, the next activation automatically goes to the Slaughter Stalker, who declares a charge directly against Ferril Dinko Iron and manages to close a distance no problem, engaging the Malkadon in close combat. So once again, the Slaughter Stalker is targeting Ferril Dinko Iron, and with 3 attacks base plus 1 more attack for charging, gets 4 attacks total. He is striking with his Ferocious Jaws at Strength 4 -1 AP as well as 1 damage, and with Rending. And with a weapon skill 3+, the Slaughter Stalker needs to roll 3 up in order to hit. The Slaughter Stalker managed to hit twice, and with Strength 4 versus Ferril Dinko Iron's Toughness of 3, in order needs to do 3 up in order to wound, and of the 2 hits he managed to hit with, it wounds both times as well. So Ferril Dinko Iron suffers 2 wounds, and with his normal armor save of 5+ for his Malkadon Hunting Rig, he will need to roll a 6+ in order to save because of the -1 AP from the Ferocious Jaw. And as crazy as it may sound, Shade picked up 2 dice, rolled boxcars, so because of that, Ferril Dinko Iron is perfectly fine with both those wounds saved. And because Ferril Dinko Iron did survive the initial attack, he's going to get his reaction attacks back right against the Slaughter Stalker. The only problem, though, is that while he does have a lot of attacks, he only has Strength 2, so it's going to be very hard for him in order to wound the Sump Stalker. So because of that, Ferril does manage to attack with 2 attacks base with his paired Malkadon Slashing Claws. He's striking at Strength 2 -2 AP with 1 damage as well as the paired trait. He's not charging in close combat, so paired doesn't come into consideration. He does have a weapon skill 3+, however, so all he has to do is roll 3 or higher in order to hit the Slaughter Stalker. Unfortunately, when it came to the wound rolls, we did make a rules mistake again, and the reason why is because we forgot to take into consideration the flesh wound that's on the Slaughter Stalker. Unfortunately, we had to fight against his unmodified at toughness of 4 instead of 5, so because of that, the wound roll has to be a 6+ because we made that rule mistake. If we had done it correctly, however, though, it would have been a 5+ in order to wound. Either way, though, either way you look at it, though, Ferril Dinko Iron, he does fail to wound the Slaughter Stalker, so because of that, not much really happens there. So Shay then activates Virginia Santai, her Jakara Spyrer Hunter, and the thing about this fighter, of course, is that she does have the Naga Blade, which gives her a versatile trait on her attacks. So she doesn't need to charge directly into close combat in order to engage the Slaughter Stalker at all. And since she has the Rain of Blow skills, instead of acting as a basic action, it acts as a simple action, which means she can do this attack twice if she wants to. So Shay decided to go with that rule set by attacking twice with 2 simple actions because she could potentially put more damage directly on the Slaughter Stalker, especially if she gets some lucky rolls off. So Rajimi Santai, of course, does have 3 attacks base, and with the Naga Blade, she's got a 2-inch versatile trait, striking at Strength 5, -1 AP, and 2 damage. It also has the Disarm as well as the Parry weapon traits as well. Wasn't really going to play much of an important role on this one, so she does have weapon skill 2+, which means she does need to roll a 1 in order to hit. So because that all of her 3 attacks, 2 of them do manage to hit, and she's striking at Strength 5 versus Toughness 3, and this time we did get the rules right. So because of that, now she has to roll 3+ in order to wound, and she managed to put 2 wounds directly onto the Slaughter Stalker. So with those 2 wounds, the Slaughter Stalker does have a 4+ armor save, which means that its armor save is now dropped to 5+ in order to save those. It does manage to save one of the wounds, but it fails one of the wounds as well. So because of that, the Slaughter Stalker needs to take its Back to the Shadows test in order to pass its Initiative test, and with Initiative 3+, it should be able to do so, but unfortunately the Slaughter Stalker does fail and also suffers 1 wound as well. So now because of the Slaughter Stalker now is sitting at 2 wounds, also has Toughness 3 as well, and because it failed, it's disappeared back into the Shadows test, Rajimi Santai gets attacked again with another simple attack because she has that Rain of Blow skill. So once again, she's attacking with 3 attacks base with her Naga Blade with a 2-inch versatile trait, 5 strength, -1 AP, 2 damage with Disarm as well as Parry. She has a weapon skill 2+, so all she has to do is not roll a 1 in order to hit against the Slaughter Stalker. Of those 3 attacks, all 3 managed to hit as well. With Strength 5 versus Toughness of 3, she only needs a 3+ in order to wound. She rolls her 3d6 and managed to land 2 wounds directly against the Slaughter Stalker. Now the Slaughter Stalker does have a 4+ armor save because of its scaly hide, but with that -1 AP from its Naga Blade, it drops it down to a 5+ armor save, and unfortunately for the Slaughter Stalker, it fails both wounds. So once again, the Slaughter Stalker tries to sneak back into the shadows by passing its Initiative test, but it does fail and it suffers 2 wounds, so because that, it takes 4 damage right on its person. So we roll for the injury dice on this one. Action roll doesn't add an action on this one, so because of that, the Slaughter Stalker is finally slayed and it gets eliminated off the table. And as you can see on the minimap, the name of the Slaughter Stalker has been highlighted in red and its circle has been blackened out to represent the fact that this thing has been killed. So with a thunderous roar echoing throughout the abandoned marketplace, the Slaughter Stalker drops to the ground dead, and the Sump Spiders manage to claim another kill from their hunting excursion into the very bottom of Hive Primus. So because of that, we're going directly to the post-game because this battle report is now officially over.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Alright, so now it's time for the After Action Report. This is the part of the battle report we talk about what went well, what went poorly, and what we can learn for the next time that we do battle. This is the After Action Report for battle report number 12, and my little sister Shade of the Sump Spiders from the Spyrer hunting party managed to pull a victory against the Slaughter Stalker. For injuries, no member of this warband was actually injured, so they're perfectly fine, and as for advancements, 2 members of this hunting party did level up. Correa Emir Ilanti leveled up to level 2, and she rolled on the shooting skills table. In order to figure out what her next skill is, she managed to roll fast shots, because that she can now treat shooting actions as simple actions and also increase her credit value by 20 credits. Rajimi Santai, with all the additional bonus points she got from killing the Slaughter Stalker, lowered to level 2 as well, getting +1 to her toughness, so now she's toughness 4 and also increased her credit value by 30 credits as well. Now the entire gang was able to do a Terror Purge, which gave 2+ experience points for all members of the hunting party, and that's the reason why these 2 fighters were able to level up. Now for the Alliance, they still maintain the alliance of the Abyssal Ferryman team, so because of that, Magic Hellbane, Lagoon, as well as the Huntsman will continue to transport the Sump Spiders across the Sump Bottom as well. Now from the trading post, they managed to harvest 2 Slaughter Stalker glands that they can keep at a later time as well. Now for their terror level, because they killed the Slaughter Stalker, their terror level has increased by 1 point, bringing it to a grand total of 6. The new record now is at 3 wins and 0 losses, and the new gang rating now is at 1,820 points. So there you guys have it. That is battle report number 12 of our community event in the books. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. Your guys' input is invaluable to us as always. And if you guys want to participate in our community event by fighting out in the Sump Seas, or you're working on projects you think we would like, please let Dr. Drybrush and myself know about it, because we'd love to see the things that you guys are doing in the community as well. So that's good for this video, guys. I'm Commander Cheapskate. I will catch you guys next one. Peace out and stay classy.